All right, Kermit for Blake 610 Sports and Life. We got this. We got the sports panel here called. This is called.
What show number is this?
This is show number 2. This
Let's
is
do
called.
it.
This is called On the Block. So I got a group of guys who are sports heads, and we just want to go through stuff that's in the news with sports and things that are on our mind. We want the common folk. We all not professionals, but we love our sports and we love getting into it. So, I'm introducing myself now. We're gonna go with to my right, which is his left. Mark, introduce yourself.
Oh, my name is Mark. Just the
And
average.
name your name the team that you like the best.
Oh,
And then-
if, of all sports right now, I'm heavily favoring Arsenal. I'm a big soccer head these days. Yeah, just an average Joe who likes sports from time to time. That's about it.
You down there below us right there.
What's good, everybody? Dimitri, originally from Queens, out here in Maryland right now.
Mm.
Uh, I would say, of course, big basketball head, but I try to dabble in all types of sports. But I'll say, I'm a diehard Knicks fan for sure.
All right. So let's start with that with our first question. I'll give it to you. Whoever wants to go first.
You can go first, Dimitri. You got.
All right.
Mm.
Oh well, I would say honestly, the landscape has changed. I mean, I've been playing basketball since I was 13, and I would say just the profitability of AAU has just changed drastically, right? From NIL deals to the way we scout players. It used to be mainly from high school. You have the high school season going on from what October till about February, March, and then AAU will start off. So there used to be like a cycle, but now I feel like AAU is like more of a business like industry per se, right? You have a lot of teams like you have the IMGs, you have not necessarily a AAU team, but a lot of the teams out there they're trying to just create super teams, right? It's not really about development. It's about recruiting the best players wherever they are in the country, assemble them together, get brand deals, get more notoriety, and then kind of recycle it again the following year, right, with the next best player. So it's similar to what the colleges have been doing, but more on the grassroots level now, which is kind of like, to me, I feel like it hinders the player because everybody's the best player in their city, right? So if I go to Queens, I'll find the best player. If I go somewhere in like DC, I'll find the best player there, right? Everybody's the guy. Now you try to put all these guys together, right? The expectation is different now. And I feel like a lot of them think that they're going to a situation where they're all going to be the guys, right? And they're not. So I just think that, like, from a development standpoint, these AU systems are not really developing these players for like life, grinding it out, learning like just to be a role player if they're not necessarily going to be a superstar. So those are certain aspects that I think that AU lacks, and also expensive. I mean, the amount of money you cash out, right? A basketball, how much does a basketball cost, right? $30, right? And a court. The court is free. But AAU to travel, housing, food, expenses, sneakers, bags, gear. So all of that is going to cost a parent thousands of dollars a year just with the hope for your son or daughter going into the next level. And it's not guaranteed. So those are my thoughts on it.
Mark.
Um, I couldn't disagree with anything Dimitri just said. Just a as a father with a 5-year-old, and the the route which I'm thinking about in my head how I want him to develop as a ball player and as a person. Um, I mean, I've spoken to other fathers. To your last point, super expensive. I got a guy that I was working with talking about, he paid up 3 G's for his, 11, 12 year old to play AU basketball. And this just ensures that the kid gets to like travel and fly and uniform and all that. Um, is it worth it? Could you, I mean, let's say the kid's 11 and he loves hoops, do you do this for like year in and year out? What if you got two children, a third child? Well, now we're talking 9 grand a year just for your son or daughter to play basketball on a team. Um, in terms of development, again, Dimitri's point, you go into a team where there's a bunch of stars. You go in there thinking you're going to be the man. How does that help you at the next level? How does that help you develop as a player? Right? If I look to my right and my left, and I've got someone to carry a load for me, yeah, that's great in terms of a day-to-day, game-to-game situation. But if you want to be the person, you kind of follow Gilbert Davis' child. You go to school where you're just a person, where you're the main one. When they need a bucket, they go to you. You need a rebound, they go to you. They need assist, they go to you. They need a clutch shot, they go to you. And I'll go back, my man. I had a friend of mine, Barry. We talked about this, and this isn't really AU, but it's more like towards the development thing. When we spoke about the difference between Steph and Seth, and when Seth left Conference USA, I forget what school it was, Conference USA to go to Duke. My boy said that's not good for him. I'm like, nah, this is me. I'm like, nah, I go with a good coach, Coach K. He'll develop as a player. And he goes, no, his brother went to a team, was the man, and he struggled, and he got better, carried the load. You're gonna go to a good team, and you're gonna have to find a role, and that's the difference between Seth and Steph, in my opinion. And I'm gonna correlate that back to AAU. When it's the five of you guys are 5-star prospects, right? Which one of you is going to take the lead, right? How are you going to take the lead? That hurts, right? Somebody's got to take a back seat for the good of the team, but that hinders your development in being, if you wanted to be the person. And also just from a team standpoint, I don't see too many AU teams like, when I watch like the clips online, I don't watch too much of it. Kids are just running and gunning, declassifying 2 years, dropping. What's that word called? They regrade, right? They regrade. They drop down a year. So I've got a 15-year-old playing a 13-year-old. Doesn't sound like a big difference in age, but yeah, you got a 15-year-old pulling up, from 15 foot, cashing it. He looks smooth. He looked bigger. He looked faster. He's playing. He's big fish in a small pond. It doesn't help anybody, right? The 15-year-old can't get any better. He's going to have to get more confident. But the 13-year-old is going to suffer because he may lose confidence. He's not playing at the right group setting. Yeah, you've had your advanced kids, right? If he's good, you play him up, right? You don't play him down, reclassing. So from that standpoint, these kids aren't learning the fundamentals of teamwork and cutting and spacing and where to be on the floor. It's the park. It's 5-on-5, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. No one's getting better. At best, you're getting cardio, So that's where I'm at with it. But I mean, there's room for improvement, right? The money is a big issue, right? Money's a big issue. These kids, they want to get ranked. Right, they want to be on these circuits, getting seen by coaches and scouts and what have you. So I understand the need for it, but someone needs to rein it in. I don't have the answers on how. Whether it's a regional director or somehow convincing kids that are from your state to stay in your state and play and develop, and maybe it's one tournament out of the state, maybe two. You're not asking a mom and a dad to pay $3,000 so you can fly your kid down to Florida for a weekend. And come back up. You just say you played in Florida, and then on that 5 games that day, right? 6, 7 games. You know what I'm saying? Like, just a tons of overuse on these kids. They're not ready for that. So yeah, that's where I stand.
I think of it in many ways. The first way I think about it is because I had I had advantages to have an AAU team. Like I'm with this program where they was like, if you want an AAU team, you can I got all the rights to do one because I have a non-for-profit organization. So they're like, you want to do an AAU team? So in my spirit, I want to do it because I like it for the kids, but I don't like that it's not a fun thing for kids. It's more like you want to get your name out there, you want to win, you want to showcase kids. And sometimes it's more, for me, it's more like it should be more like a learning thing for kids. But like y'all said, they're making up like super teams, and you hearing all these people play with this person play with this person, and then it's like a whole big mess to me, and it's more like a money grab. And I was like, I was looking at all the monies and all the stuff that it had, and I was like, yeah, it could be lucrative to the coaches, but somebody gotta suffer, which is the parents. So the parents are running and ripping for a kid that maybe not that good. So, but you go in there and you taking care of the kid, and you giving the kids their dream, and sometimes as a parent that he or she may be not that good, but you have to ask yourself, do I invest in them like that or don't I? But that's something that everybody has to think about, because I look at it like this also. It's it's taking the place of let's say the thought is like an after school for the summer. So in the summertime, if they're not going to after school where you got to pay mad money to after school programs just to keep them busy in the summer, this is another way to keep them busy in the summer. And it affects the parents in that way, because it's more like a money grab to me. And everybody always say, I'm with this AAU team, and I just do this. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. Don't really mean much, because I don't see them also developing. I don't see them developing. I don't see them thinking about the player. Because now, if you playing like 15 games a day, how much are you going to teach them as a coach? So you probably expecting kids to be good already, so you can put them on that team. My advice to AAU people who wants to do AAU: keep it local and find somebody who's like. There's plenty of people in neighborhoods that'll teach kids how to really play basketball. Not they don't always have to go out of town. You go out of town maybe once or twice, but don't every weekend. You go in here, you go in there, you go in here, you go in there, and then you find out that sometimes you do all of that, and then the kid be like, I don't want to do that anymore. So you did 5-6 years of that, running in and out of every state to try to get them, and then they get old enough and they don't want to do it anymore. So to me, AAU, I think it's hindering kids, because now they're worried about being on super teams and worrying about winning instead of learning how to play the game. And yeah, you start to see as a player, and you're young, you start to really meet players who are good. If sometimes you think you're good, then you meet people who are even better than you are. You'd be like, he can't be 12 years old at 6'11", and he's 12 years old. And you start to meet people like that. You're barely 5'10", and then you're meeting people that you're playing against who are really, in a sense, going to be professionals, because their trajectory is you're going to be a professional in a couple of years because your size. But some kids never outgrow that, so they just get their winning by being on the AAU. But I don't think AAU. I think it's hindering inner city kids, because everybody wants to run around and say, I'm with the Pro Max AAU team and we win every game, because you got like all-stars on your team, and you may not ever play. You may just get in there, go ahead, last 2 minutes, go ahead. Yeah, we won. But did you learn anything? I learned not to be I learned to be on a team with a whole bunch of good people so I can get rings.
Yeah.
So to me, AAU, I think it's hindering, especially in basketball. The other sports, maybe, but it's not so much emphasis so much on the other 5-star football and everything else. But they I think they take a little bit more time with the other sports. Basketball is more of a show. They're trying to get you out there, get your money, get the parents moving and stuff like that. So I don't think AAU is, at least it's gotten worse. It's more of a money grab, and I think it could be better. I think it could be better if everybody would give them less games, teach them how to work out, teach them how to stretch, teach them how to shoot, all that stuff. You got to really get the fundamentals in them. I think it's more of a you got to be ready already.
Yeah, I mean, at some point wasn't AAU, because I've never played AAU, so I'm just gonna ask. At some point wasn't AAU like they were more a heavy emphasis on developing
yes, it
ball
was.
Players.
It was.
To your point, it's all about the wins now. Like nobody wants
Yeah.
to have like a quote unquote losing AAU program.
Right. Because then
Yeah,
you get all the best kids.
yeah,
They be like, Dimitri team, they
yeah,
won like 6 years in a row. So guess
right,
when the parents be like, I want to be on with Coach Dimitri
yeah,
because he got a winning program.
right,
And they don't know that Dimitri, he got like a lot of ringers on his team.
yeah,
He got guys, they supposed to be 11U. He got those guys are like 14.
yeah.
But he
I
tell them
mean,
they're 11.
that
And they killing
reclassing is
everybody.
huge. Yeah, reclassing is huge as well.
Yeah, so they do all that stuff. And that's what I can't get with, because the kids be like, kids only see winning. And not
Yeah,
everybody's going to win.
yeah,
What happens when you meet that team that's way better than or not as good as you, but their fundamentals are way better and they beat you? Then you end up start crying. So, I thought I had the best team. I was on the best team. And why the team is so? And then you start insulting the other team that beat you. That was so-called less fancy. They didn't have the Nike stuff. They walked in with some Chuck Taylors, and they was killing everybody. And they was like, I don't understand why that team is beating everybody. But their fundamentals were good. But like I said, AAU, it could be better. But from what I gathered, it hasn't been all that better. I just hear it as a money grab. So I'm definitely not looking to do anything like that. I got to really, really, really think about, do I want to have an AAU team? And that's my whole thought. I haven't been pushed myself, or even, I just like the fact of having kids around and you get to teach them about life and basketball and everything like that. But other than that, I'm not trying to do that money grab stuff. I have some scruples about that stuff, so I ain't thinking about that. But let's move on to the next question. Next question, Sha'carrie Richardson. What do you think about her and her situation, about her her being arrested?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it goes without saying, like, you should never put your hands on anybody. It's just, and what I think is so unfortunate is that and not we as a collective right here, but people forget that these people are human, right? They have regular lives outside of this status that they're thrusted upon, superstar status, TV in the spotlight sort of thing. And I can't imagine what it's like to constantly live with a camera watching you at every turn, on every step and every decision you make. And I feel like as a person right now who lives without that sort of surveillance, I can sit here and say you shouldn't do X, Y, and Z. And I'm saying she shouldn't. What I'm saying is, I feel like we're at a point in society where we get to see everything. And those people who are in the spotlight never get it. They never get a time off unless they're in their homes where there's no cameras present. The minute they step foot outside, they've got to be this other person or whomever they are when they're outside. But I say that all that to say this: you don't put your hands on anybody, no matter what they say to you. I mean, obviously, contact, unless somebody's like, I'm going to kill you, and then then you do something
Defend
other.
yourself,
Then you defend yourself. But even in situations like that, you can find, if you can find a way out, you find a way out. But also, I feel like maybe society's gotten to a point where dudes just can't be like, yo, like, leave me the F alone without the scrutiny. Like, you can only, obviously you and I were talking about Sha'carrie and what she did, but had the shoe been on the foot, had it been Chris Coleman pushing her around the airport, I think we would have seen a much bigger talking point about what he did, right? Oh, you're a man, you work out, you're strong, you know your strength. oh, you shouldn't put your hands on her. And I saw some of the video. She's pushing around the airport. Um, I saw some of the apology that she had kind of put together, saying she's taking accountability and whatnot. Initially, when I watched that video, the first thing like 10 to 15 seconds, she didn't seem too apologetic, and I was like, I'm waiting for the apology, and then she wound up apologizing, saying, I'm sorry, I disappointed the people around me, what have you. But without a doubt, keep your hands to yourself. It's a life lesson that you just cannot like live without. So inexcusable, unacceptable, and I'm not sure what the relationship is like for those two people right now. Um, Clearly, she said in her apology that she cared deeply about him, and so that it's one of those things that couples kind of go through. But also, I'm just a side note. Is the age difference really big between those two? I thought Chris Coleman has been running for some time, and I don't say age is a big issue, but I
Check
think
it out.
there's a.
I don't know, man.
Let me.
My thought on the whole thing is they. I don't know. I don't know if he's that much older than
I'm
she
looking it
is.
up right now.
She, yeah, that whole thing is all messed up. And she was having some. First of all, before that, she was having some situations with her.
Oh, he's 29. It's not that much older. She's 25.
Yeah, she was
Okay.
having some situation with her previous relationship,
Mm-hmm.
which was a woman.
Oh, really? I didn't know
And
that.
they were had domestic DV.
Mm-hmm.
They had a whole bunch of stuff going on between them, so they were assaulting each other.
Wow.
So my thought to this is, as a man, I don't know what Chris Coleman is like. I don't know if he's trying to save her from
Mm.
herself, and he was there, the knight in shining armor. But
Janique Brown.
it's unfortunate that she carried that same attitude against him,
Mm-hmm.
and she was, pushing him around, and he was trying to relax and chill, and she like bullied him basically, but he just was not trying to, engage. Like he was just like, I'm really trying to not do it. But she saw that as like a being a punk because she kept going, and then she even called him a coward, all type of stuff before she even realized that she was being that they had cameras on her.
Mm-hmm.
He called him all type of things, and he didn't even warrant that. He was still trying to be, the calm person between the both of them. I was like, don't you understand that you are in the spotlight? They're trying to, you can't say that the media is always trying to get you when you're giving them fuel to get you,
Mm-hmm.
and you do stuff like that. You have to relax. And I know, unfortunately, when you become a star or everybody see you, you gotta perform. If that's not what you are, you better learn to be who they think you are, because you're not going to get away with that, because they're going to eventually crucify you for your actions. Like, she was acting a certain way when she didn't realize that the cameras were on her, and she was, crucifying the guy. Told him he's a punk. I don't want to f with you and all this other stuff. And I was like, dang boy, he don't warrant that. He's probably the
Mm-hmm.
one that's trying to keep us sane.
Right, right.
And I
Yeah.
was like, and I said to myself, I said, damn, Christian Coleman, man, you should be like, I better think this is gonna be over. I can't save her that much. Because if she does that now in front of everybody, when she wasn't think she's gonna get caught, imagine what happens when they behind the closed doors.
Right.
Imagine what she does to him. That I would hate to think that. Because if you can do that and think you're getting away with it, imagine when they go in the house, what she does to him.
Mm-hmm.
And he a brother like that can, after a while, you can't take that, because it doesn't. The women don't be like, oh man, he's such a man. He's a man's man. He's just taking it. He's not. After a while, the women start to bully you more, instead of thinking that he's restraining himself, because the power is in the restraint.
Right.
He's restraining himself. Don't keep going on. Why are you calling him a coward, a punk, all this other stuff? Why? He's not. He's trying to be like, yo, I need to chill. And like Mark said, if it was on the other side, boy, they would have crucified Christian Coleman. They would have been like, even they would have probably suspended him. I don't think Nike is taking down her all her endorsements. She still probably got her endorsements. If it was Christian Coleman, he everybody would have been like, guess what? The Nike would have been like, we turn our thumbs down to him, and he's not no longer a part of Nike.
Right.
But I didn't hear that about her yet, and she's still going along, and she just had to say sorry just to show face, in my view. So I don't even know. Sometimes you got to say, is that sincere, or is that she got caught? So everybody's starting to rip her. So it's better she just say something so it can look all right. But in her heart of hearts, she really don't mean it. She just be like, nah, I can't mess with him. He ain't the man that I thought he was gonna be. So I don't know. I don't think it's fair. I think she should get everything thrown at her like if it was him. But I think it's a travesty just to see her. You want to see people win, especially a young couple. You want to see them win.
Right.
They in the same sport. You want to see them, be able to talk with each other. You can see them laughing on the side. But now you say to yourself, dag, man, I don't even know if this is a real relationship. Are they really mad at each other? Now you got to ask yourself again, are they going to stay together? And if they don't, this is going to always be in the clouds for everybody to see. So it's kind of like, I don't like it. I don't like that she's gotten away with it. I don't like that she can't control herself. Like, I don't even know. I ask myself all the time. I say, yeah, I'm not a star. I'm not in the limelight, but you got to learn how to be able to behave, control yourself. Think about what would happen if this got out. You got to think like that, because come on, people know who you are.
All right.
You don't matter how much wigs and stuff and stuff you put on your face, they know who you are and they know what you do, and they're gonna always put that in everybody's public eye. You're gonna be like, all right, she did this. Like, I already know that she was abusive because they brought up everything in her past. Oh yeah, she was with somebody else, a woman, and they were fighting.
Yeah, I saw that. I just saw the article on that Janique Brown, Jamaican sprinter. The sprinter said that she used to be abusive to sha'carrie.
Yeah, so it's a terrible thing. So I'm waiting to see what's fair is fair. Just make her chill for a little bit. Nike just you got to suspend her, because if it was Christian Coleman, it got to be fair. But again, who cares about the guys? It's all about the women, right? I'm just seeing for what it is. Go ahead, Dimitri. What's up? What you think about it?
So I agree with both Mark and Kermit about your statements about accountability for sha'carrie. She is 5'1". I see here he's 5'9". It's always like kind of like people like that whole notion of like when you see a chihuahua, right? Chihuahua, say you have a chihuahua in your house and somebody comes to your house like, oh, he's just a chihuahua and he's aggressive, like going crazy. Everyone's like, oh, it's just a chihuahua, it's small, like, but your dog is still aggressive, right? But now if it's a pit bull will be calm as hell. Everybody's like, yo, what kind of dog? This dog is huge, right? Dog's not doing that. Dog is just chilling. But you feel like, oh nah, bro, like that's a pit. So it's just like just based on like the criteria. It's just like, oh, like we can let her slide or whatever. But the biggest thing I think both of you guys didn't mention was, so she was doing all this throughout the airport, and I don't know if you guys heard the when they had the body cam footage of asking her, like while they were arresting her, they asked her like, oh, we're gonna arrest you, and she was just like, for what? Like he's abusing me. I was just like, oh nah, like. She's trying to flip it now. Like she didn't know the cameras were on her. So she's saying like, oh, he was like, you don't know what he does to me. I'm just like, So wait a second. So you were bullying him, right? You didn't take any accountability. Now the cops are here. You're saying that he hit you, he's abusing you. So
Yeah.
you're gonna get the black man in trouble,
Hmm.
and he's already bigger than you and stronger
Right.
than you.
Right.
So I'm like, that to me was foul. And yeah, both in the same profession, right?
Hmm.
So you know that it's gonna carry more weight if he's accused of these
Right.
allegations. And luckily there's cameras to prove that
Amen.
what
You are
happened.
so right. Yep.
So you got to be careful with like, and that comes with like maturity and understanding. Like, if something happens like that, you can't accuse a man, especially if he did not touch you, of hitting you,
Yeah.
because that can ruin his reputation.
Hmm.
Even if it's not true, it can
But
still
but
hold
but what
weight.
she was really saying is that I'm important, more important than him.
Right.
Take
Essentially.
Right.
him,
Right.
not
Right.
me. And which was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. But accusations like that can like tarnish like
Big
tarnish you.
time. Big time.
So you got to be very. I understand tempers are flared, you're upset, but you can't say these type of things because you can't take it back. Like
Yeah.
again, luckily there's camera footage, right? You have surveillance now. Like
Amen.
back,
Yep.
like I'm unfortunately I'm bring some bad news. Like Emmett Till, like accusations will get
Hmm.
you lynched.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
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 person.
Yep.
Right. One
So
person get the news. It's all right.
That's
right.
all. Yep.
So
And then you say it to the wrong person, and there was no
Hmm.
cameras, and it's just her word against his. And you
exactly.
never to tell you the truth. Sorry to cut you. I never heard him really speak. Really, really. Like
Hmm.
they never had the camera in his. Even if he won, he said, "I say, well, I won. That was good." But this time I heard him speak. I never heard his voice the way how it sounded. That means that he never talked much.
Yeah.
Mm,
So she took that as I'm going to, I am more important,
Yeah.
and me get arrested. Me,
Right.
Sha'carrie, the number one sprinter, the best person out. Who cares about him? I'm getting arrested. So she's trying to throw. It's like like we have kids, right? So when a kid know that they did the wrong thing, when
Hmm.
they wrote, and they'd be like, my kids one time, one of my kids wrote on the wall, and they tried to get the other one in trouble,
Mm.
and I was like, I know your handwriting. Then
mm,
they tried to bring up other stuff against them. I was like, no, no, no. You the one that did that. I didn't ask what they did last week.
Right.
This is what you did now. So she kind of did the kid thing to me, and I was like,
Hmm.
damn, man. I'm you. Then after a while, you can't really trust people. Sometimes you be like,
Yeah. Just yeah.
I thought we were ace coon. We were
Yeah. You quickly become disappointed in that person, especially and not to say that she doesn't care about the relationship, but to your point, it was like it's my career over his, it's my life over his. At no point initially, as Dimitri was saying, that that she said she didn't fess up right away, which is for me is crucial.
yeah, yeah,
It's crucial for me. That for me, a relationship like that is not that it's not salvageable, but the trust in you is gone. Like my trust in you is so gone
yeah.
because it was a situation where it was either you or me, and it was definitely because something that you did. You elected to throw me under the bus. You just had to drag me through whatever you were going through in order to make yourself feel better or look better. Unacceptable for me.
And
Just
the one thing we
total loss
didn't
of
talk
trust.
about, he didn't call the police. There was
Yeah,
somebody else that called the police. He
right.
didn't call them. He
mm,
he. That means he was trying to be like, yo, chill, chill, chill. We're getting on this plane. Why we got our business out in the street? That means somebody else saw it and made the call. That's
mm,
what happened. Not him. So he didn't even. He was like, if she knows him, he wasn't trying to get her in trouble, and he still wasn't trying to get in trouble when the cops came.
mm.
But she looked at it like, oh, he ratted on me,
Mm.
and it wasn't right what he did, and I was just like, man, as Mark say, now I got to look at you at the corner of my eye.
Absolutely. Yeah, for
I
sure.
gotta be like,
Yeah, I gotta make sure my finances in order. I make sure
yeah,
you're not
yeah, you
taking
know what I'm
money out of
saying?
my bank account. I
Yeah,
gotta
I
check
gotta start
everything now.
watching you. Yep, I gotta
Yeah,
start watching.
I gotta watch
Unfortunately,
you. And then
yep.
if I'm watching my partner, then it's downhill.
Yeah, it's no,
Mhm.
it's I don't need
Yeah,
to be with you. I
I
can
don't
just be
even.
like, hi, how are you? And wave from a
Mm-hmm.
distance. Like, you don't call me anymore.
Yeah.
No, I got stuff to do. I'm
You're right.
training.
Right.
I
You
don't think
know,
this is gonna work out.
yeah, quietly walk my way out of there.
Bigger, stronger, faster, but get hurt more often. Bigger, stronger, faster, but do rest management. Bigger, stronger, faster, but team up like the Avengers and make super teams. Michael Jordan once said, I would never in a million years call Magic to want to play with him. I want to play against him. He's my barometer in terms of how great am I if I can compete against another great player and dominate. Bird said, I would never call Magic. Magic would never call me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm telling you, Bron Vestites, stop it. Stop it.
Yeah,
What do you think about what he's saying about modern athletes and the old athletes?
There's a bunch of truth to it. Also, there's also some context to it as well. Briefly, I'm gonna say that, like, for that time period, and listen, I love to compete. I tell guys all the time, I love to compete. I'm not a guy, and my friends get mad at me when I go to the park with them, right? If I win a game or we wind up losing the game and the team wants to play with me, pause, right? They'll put me on and they be like, come on, Mark. And it's like, yo, to be honest with you guys, like, I heard you guys all the time. I don't mind playing against you guys. Like, if you guys are good, I'll play against you. Like, I don't have a problem with that. My friends are like, no, we came together, let's play together. And sometimes that works for me, but ultimately I love to compete, right? And whether I'm good enough or the team is wildly stacked against me, I still want to go out there and play hard and compete. So that, for me, that's the bottom line. What I'm going to say is the next point is that I don't know when it happened. I'm not sure who started the conversation, but when the conversation went from being a really good player amongst your peers, right, or being a Hall of Famer, or having the numbers to be in at seat at the same table, to the amount of championships you win, that became an issue for the modern day athlete. I don't recall in the 80s or 90s or maybe early 2000s, we were asking how many rings does Kobe have, how many rings does Shaq have, how many rings anybody have. That wasn't a real conversation to debate how good or great they are. Somewhere in those 2000s, we started having that convo, and I'm not sure if it was to knock someone down or to bring somebody up, but clearly we have at today an issue with that. You can see it right now. I mean, obviously, Klay Thompson might be the biggest aggregator of this, right? Whenever there's an issue with Klay Thompson, he puts up the 4 fingers, right? He'll tell you, I've got 4 rings, right? He's down 50. Right, he'll tell you, I've got rings, and sort of that kind of validates who he is as an NBA player. Now, I think Klay's a great athlete, great basketball player. I'm probably not picking him, in my top 10 if I had to pick players, but he's got the accolades, right? He's got that 60-point game on 7, 11, whatever dribbles. He's got 4 rings. He was man number 2 on a really good team, right? So. In that perspective, but the conversation is about Jordan, Bird, and Magic versus LeBron and the LeBron supporters teaming and LeBron's teaming up. I mean, Shaq and Kobe did it, right? Was it Shaq, Kobe, Peyton, and Karl Malone? They tried one time, right? It's not the first time teams have tried to align, or players have tried to align themselves to put a really good team together. It's not the first time. We go back as far as like this is more of a coach, Red Auerbach, stealing or tricking people into giving them the first round pick, right? That I think the year before they got Len Bias, they won a chip, something like that. It wasn't too far away. So there was coaches and organizations trying to stack the teams in their favor, as it's supposed to. But when players do it, it's sort of taboo. And my last point is, before LeBron got, and I think people like to put LeBron as like this kind of like centerpiece for why all this teaming up shit happens. I don't think it's him at all. I think Boston got together prior to him or whatever. Mm-hmm. But when LeBron went to Miami, that team had a losing record. I think it was like 37-48. He didn't go to some fucking team as a KD with 72 wins and say, hey, let me park my coat on this coat hanger and ride with you guys. You know what I'm saying? Nah, he went to a team that struggled the year before, right? And the expectation for them was to win all these chips. call it what you. I call a spade a spade. I'm sure the league did not appreciate that. Hence, I think why they blew that game in that Dallas series, which is beyond me. But we like to make LeBron the centerpiece as why that went that way. In terms of like GOAT conversations, I'm gonna have Jordan ahead of LeBron just because the era I was born in, and we can give LeBron all the numbers in the world, but he played 20 years. Mike played, I think, less than that, but I think at the same junction in their careers, Mike numbers are way better. You know, if you want to go year for year, bar for bar, however you want to phrase it, Jordan's numbers were better. I think Jordan's career average right now still stands at like 30 points a game, something like that. So LeBron is going to go down as one of the greatest players to ever play. To sum it all up, I've got no problem with LeBron did, but I ride with the Magic Bird and Magic of the time. I'm not teaming up with anybody to make my team better. Yeah, my situation is my situation. If the organization fixes it, they fix it. I'm going to want them to fix it, but I'm not saying, hey, guys, let's get together this offseason. That's just not it. But I think also did that for Rodman. Don't get me wrong. I think the Bulls did that for Dennis Rodman. I think they convinced Rodman to come play with them. So there you have that.
Yeah, Dimitri, what you think about that?
So I think we talked about this like previously about the GOAT debate. And my thing is like I always have LeBron and Jordan as 1A and 1B, right? Because I feel like it's just not fair to LeBron, mainly because the pressure, right? Jordan didn't have the expectations that LeBron had, right? So Jordan came into the league. He wasn't the touted number one pick trying to save he literally saved the NBA from like going bankrupt, right? Like outside of Larry Bird and Magic, Michael Jordan transformed the game, right, as we know it. To this day, Jordans are the number one selling basketball sneakers in the world. Not even in the country, in the world, right? Still, he's retired over 20-something years ago. But one thing I can say about Jordan is when he retired, his teams were still good, right? When he retired, and then it's one of his comments, right? When he retired from the Bulls, they went 55-27 the following year. There was no real fall. Scottie Pippen was still the leader of that team. LeBron, when he left the Cavs, they were 19-63. That's the year before he took them to the finals. Like LeBron literally single-handedly carried the Cavs every single year. So he's not a killer. Like LeBron, it's not his game. He's not the Kobe.
Because that's not who he is as a person.
That's not who he is. Yes, he can't do it.
Yeah,
but when I saw LeBron play in person, I was just like, he literally sees everything on the court. Like he gets everybody involved. He rebounds. He defends. LeBron literally does every aspect of like the game. But the argument is like, okay, if he would have stayed in the Cavs, if he would have rode it out the whole entire time, would his legacy be different? Who knows, right? I have this argument with my brother-in-law. I always say, it's cool when the owners do it, but it's a problem when the players do it, right? So the owners do that all the time. They got think about it. The Lakers got Paul Gasol. That trade was insane.
Yes,
Kwame Brown.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just like, y'all gave Kobe Bryant. He lost one of the greatest centers of all time, Shaq. Y'all gave him another dominant power forward slasher. He went to the finals 3 years in a row with that same team, right? So the Lakers always get the players that they want. The Cavaliers don't get anybody. They're not a free agent market. Nobody's going to Cleveland. Like, oh, let's go to Cleveland.
Let's go to Cleveland.
I don't care who's there. I'm not going to Cleveland over LA.
Yeah.
So I would say LeBron, him going to Miami made sense during that time. Even if D Wade went to the Cavs, it wouldn't have been the same. It wouldn't.
You're right. I agree.
But I do respect about that is LeBron went back to the Cavs, right? And brought them a chip, right? That they never won a chip. So he went back there and kind of solidified that. And every single team that he went on, they were all losing records. They were never winning teams when he entered. KD's situation is a little different. Because obviously he joined the Warriors, and the Warriors still won without him. So KD didn't need that. He didn't need that.
Yeah, didn't need that.
And you know, what's his name? Always remind him of it. The power forward. That's his name. I guess slipping my head, my mind right now.
Which power forward? From where? I mean,
Draymond Green always
oh
remind
yeah,
me.
which is Draymond's but Draymond's another one who, in my opinion, like like Draymond's not a Hall of Famer in my opinion.
Oh, really? Oh,
I don't think so. I
Oh,
think he's a
wow.
pivotal piece on a really good team.
He is, but he's
Without
not
him, that team does not go. Don't get me wrong, but his numbers don't say Hall of Fame. Obviously, when you watch him play, he's like I said, he's integral. But if you stack him against any like small forward, power forward, five man,
listen,
he doesn't.
to me, sorry to cut you, he's a
Mhm.
throwback player. He
Yeah.
plays like how they
What's
used
his
to
name?
play in the past. So he's like the enforcer.
Forcer,
Yeah,
right? What's the
yeah.
guy's name on Detroit? The guy, what's his name? The Forcer on Detroit Pistons. with Isaiah Thomas.
McHorn?
No, the guy that plays
No,
now is always in a fight every
Oh, yeah,
week.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
forget his name off the top of my head. He's talking about too.
Isaiah Stewart.
Isaiah Stewart, yes.
All right,
Yes.
but also
Yeah.
also the bad boy Pistons too. The white guy, what's his name?
You
Bill
said
Lambier.
Lambier, right,
Yeah.
the enforcer, right. So similar to that, Draymond's gonna guard 1 through 5. And they switch in the NBA now, they switch on everything, right? They don't play in
Yeah.
single coverage,
Yeah.
so
They do it.
it
Yeah,
doesn't
you're
really
right.
matter.
Right.
But I mean,
Sorry to cut you. I just
mhm.
look at it like this. That teaming up stuff, it's good for the public. It seems like it's more fun for the players.
Mm.
Like if I had a couple of boys, like if you talk to Marcel Dimitri, it's another person that's going to be on the panel one time. When we played against each other, we had some really good games because he couldn't sleep when I was on the other side.
Mhm.
So it pushed him made him even better. Whether we were playing football, basketball, baseball, running track, he had to run faster because I was running faster. I wasn't going to let up on him. So I think you lose that when you're playing against somebody who's just as good as you. Like instead of teaming up sometimes, and sometimes team up is for just your boy. You'd be like, yeah, Mark, yo, we should be on the same team together. Yeah, that would be nice. And then the players probably say, yeah, we'd have fun together. We'd go out, we'd be winning games together. So that to me, that looked like more like a childhood fantasy. But I'm more so like what Jordan and Magic said. I want my own team, and I want to go against you.
Mhm.
I want to. It makes me better as a player. It makes me go home and work harder because I am always constantly going to be going against you, and and I'm not worrying about to say who's the best. But sometimes, like I was talking to Marcel about one day, I was like Marcel, you remember when we was watching the Olympics track and field when Ben Johnson beat Carl Lewis? And he's like, yeah. I said, Carl Lewis said that was the fastest he ever ran, chasing Ben Johnson. And then we found out that, of course,
Yeah,
y'all don't know Ben Johnson took
he was.
steroids.
Yeah,
Mhm.
steroids enhanced.
But that pushed Carl Lewis to run the fastest he's ever run, chasing this guy. So I think that to a degree, once you go to, you play against people who are good night after night, you're also making the sport harder. Not everybody can't get with teams. Like say Dimitri and Mark are the superstars of teams. Then you got one more superstar. Basically, when you play the subpar teams, you beating them. And
Yeah.
me as a player who's not that good, I want to be on your team because I'm winning rings because of y'all.
Yeah. I think the NBA tried to
stop it.
Yeah, well, a little bit like the luxury tax and the two cap tier system for the salary cap.
And the
But
second apron as well.
Second apron, yeah, the second apron really where they really get you. But I mean, it doesn't really stop owners with deep pockets. And like you said,
true.
When owners make these sort of moves, no one's batting an eye. Like no one's saying they shouldn't do X, Y, and Z. I'm all for player empowerment. I was telling my boy the other day, and it's a little bit off topic. we were talking about Shador Sanders, Shador's situation, him dropping to the 4th round or whatever. And I said, don't worry about Shador. I think this is all a game. I think that the NFL realizes that you've got a product that people want to see, whether they want to watch him fail or they want to watch him succeed. They're gonna watch him. It's entertainment. They have to place the characters in the right stage to get the most out of it. And I'm like, I say to them, listen, man, Cleveland, in like the LeBron effect. When LeBron left Cleveland was a desert in terms of like money making. They'll tell you the surrounding businesses suffered. You bring in a guy like Shador, right? He's gonna be must see TV, whether you want to watch him succeed or fail. That's why he went in the 4th round. You watch. I said
5th round.
5th round. So
that's even worse.
right. So you don't. So say you like watching NFL draft. Usually you watch day 1 and day 2, right? Those are the big name players. What better thing to give you to watch day 3, the Saturday and Sunday, than have this guy who's supposed to be in the first round, not going to 1st round. He's got the name of one of the greatest players of all time, Sanders, right? You're gonna stay glued to the TV until the guy gets picked, right? You went in the 5th round. My point is like these owners, they collude all the time. They collude all the time. There's no.
They would tell you they're not.
They tell you not. Listen, there are 32 of them.
I know.
Trust me when I say these guys speak at least once a month, positively. Yep. I'm telling you. Look at the Luka deal. The Luka deal. There's no way Lakers should have landed Luka. They gave him nothing.
Yep.
And then they get Cooper flag right after that. You cannot tell me. Yeah, it's a show. It's a show.
Yeah.
It's a show. And the owner,
right.
And the owners are in collusion. So when players collude, I have zero problem with that. They're in tune that this is one big show. And what makes for a good show? When you got all the players playing, whether it's the narrative like we don't want a super team or we have a super team, we're anti-super team, we're pro-super team. You put butts in the stands, you put ratings go up.
True.
It's all of that. It's all one big game. It's all entertainment. Yeah, and
you and as you say everything, that's the one thing about sports. Sports has become more must-see TV because now they got to get the generation now needs fire to make them watch this stuff.
They need a product to be profitable. They need to be profitable. I think that's the bottom line. It just needs to be profitable.
Right. And also, I think too, the NBA is trying to go the NFL route, right? Adam Silver said this, and I thought about it. He said he's trying to make the NBA teams league, right? Which is going to take a long time, in my opinion. But the NBA right now is a players league. Nobody has a lot of people don't have favorite teams. They have favorite players. I'm a Jordan fan. I'm a Curry fan. I'm a Kobe fan, right? But if you look at the NFL, a lot of people are not player fans. They couldn't name anybody on that team. They'd be like, I'm a Cowboys fan.
Right.
Like they don't know. They don't care about Dak Prescott or whoever.
Yeah. They care about when they lose, though.
Well, but the dynamic, but also with the NFL, the dynamic is different, right? So for the NBA is fortunate where you can see those guys' faces on a nightly basis. You can put a name to a face. The announcer can put a name to a face. Those guys playing football, they're in a helmet the whole entire game. So even if you have a favorite player, you'll know his name. I promise you took off his helmet, walked down the street, you wouldn't even notice him. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things. The NBA has done a great job.
You just know that you would be like, that guy's kind of big there.
Right. But
the
NBA has done a great job. Yeah, it's the visibility. The NBA doesn't, and to your point, it'll take a long time for it to become a teams league. But it's not like that. Even for the players are way more sociable with each other, right?
That's what it is.
Those guys fall down, they pick each other up. You know what I'm saying? Like after then they dap each other. You know, you don't have too many rivalries.
It's more so. I'm getting with Dimitri because we getting our brand together. We're not worrying about
Right. I lost the game tonight. Oh well, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting paid. I'm in the NBA. Some of these guys, obviously, in the situation where they're at, the team, they know not gonna be winners or whatever. But for the most part, these guys are friends on the most basic level, right? They can pick up on phone and say, yo, Yo, Jordan, what you doing tonight? I'm in NY. Pull up. Da 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 da. Those guys in the 89 weren't talking to each other on the phone.
Yeah, the matter of fact,
Yeah.
they began to talk with each other later in life.
Yeah,
On the
exactly.
court,
Yeah,
they were like,
yeah,
yo, I hate
100%.
Mark.
But
And you
I mean, you look at the Jordan, Isaiah Thomas. Those guys refuse to each other. They're just not doing it. I
yep.
mean, that bridge is burnt, crisp
Yeah.
to a crisp. They're never putting it back together. It's a wrap. But they've got a mutual friend in Magic Johnson. Where Isaiah can talk to Magic or Jordan can talk to
They talk to
Magic.
Magic and that's
Right,
it.
they've got a mutual friend, but
They're
those guys.
not touching
Nah,
each other.
but in today's NBA, that's not happening. These guys are all
yeah,
buddies.
They're friends.
They're all friends, and they're friends for a long time though. Some of these guys play AAU together.
AAU together, like we said.
Right?
Yep.
They come up through the ranks together.
AAU.
Yeah, I seen that guy in the circuit. Da 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 da. When he was giving me da 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 da. So I think it's much harder. I think it's much harder.
Yeah. And life, and you know why it's also much harder, because life is different now. They're more friends than anything else.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but I think they're
don't
more
have to struggle
cognizant
as much
though.
to get stuff.
Right, they're more confident that this is the business that they're in.
Yes,
right, they're players in a business, and so it benefits them to just kind of help each other out. It's just one of those things.
Yeah. It all goes down to Ari Spears talked about they bigger faster and they get hurt more. But that comes from not working out enough. Because
I think it's overuse. I think it's overuse.
I think
it's overuse. I think these guys they played so much before getting to the NBA. I mean, look at Julius Randle, who broke his leg like week 3 of the NBA career. But these guys, they play so much. I encourage all my friends who children, hey, put them in different sports. I'm telling you right now. It'll benefit them long run. You got to take some time off from the sport. Come back. It's overuse, right? And you don't want to play similar sports. You don't want a basketball player playing volleyball, right? Same jump motion, same step, plant, jump motion.
I think it's this too. Let me tell you what it is. I went to a couple of games and watched kids before games. I don't think they prepare themselves in a better motion to play, run up and down. They just get the ball and just they're more so. It's like this. To me, if you don't use the muscle right, when you have to really use the muscle, after a while the muscle is not strong enough to sustain little twists and little stuff here. So it's kind of like,
but the kids
work yourself into getting into shape.
But the kids don't play the same. And listen, I spent hours outside playing on the street, running on the pavement, on the street, on the sidewalk, up and down, playing tag, playing every man for himself. Like all these games, I think made me ready to play other sports. Right? Me juking left and right. I mean, you go on the internet now. There coaches out there showing kids how to like step left, right, step left, right. It's like, bruh. When I'm playing tag, I can literally lean on one foot and get burst the other way without even thinking about it. I can stop on a dime and jump back and cut back. These kids, they don't play like that anymore. That kind of like secondary sort of motion required for sports have to be taught. But even you can't really teach it. That's why these kids down in like in Florida, in the Texases, they chasing chickens and shit, right? To get the agility up, right? That's like for them tried and true, but that teaches these kids how to lean. I mean, not to disparage kids from the inner city, whatever, but these kids, a lot of the other kids in well-to-do neighborhoods don't play outside as much. My kid hasn't played outside just yet with any other kids yet. You know what I'm saying? I gotta send them to like Coach Cam in a camp to get them to play other kids. And so like I feel like those kids, the kids aren't ready. When you say aren't ready, just overall as an overall athlete, I feel like these kids aren't ready to play the sport. So yeah, they get on the court thinking they ran enough, they jumped enough, and they've shot enough. But all the in between stuff, like being able to balance on one leg or another leg, they're weakened because they don't do other things that promote that. I mean, that's just my opinion.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100% because I see it when I'm coaching the kids, like the kids in the neighborhood. And they, I'm like, you can't see that? What happened? Why you just couldn't stop and go? You young. You don't have a torn MCL. Why you can't, you saw him like he just went right past your face like that. I was like, you couldn't stop him? They was like, yeah, coach, but, and I was like, I was like, dang, man, you guys need to. I told him, I said, you need to play other sports.
Mm-hmm.
You need to chase each other around the park.
Yeah.
You need to be like blood tired from chasing. They played 1 or 2 games and they said they tired. I said, what you tired for?
Nah,
You only played 2 games.
2 games. You tell me
You
I'm playing for
just
4
sit here.
hours.
What are you doing?
You gotta come drag me off the court one of my days. You
Yeah,
gotta
it
come
was like
drag me.
our parents was like, don't you sit on that couch? You smell like outside. And we did smell like outside. I was like, damn, they right. We smell like because we was outside all day. You smell like the park. You smell like when people checking you and you getting chased around. Besides playing basketball, you played
soft
football,
life, man.
baseball,
Soft life for these
all type
young
of
ones,
stuff.
man.
Yeah, man. But you was running around, man. But guys, that was a good session, man.
Yeah, man.
Any last words before we end this out?
Nah, man, it's great. It's a great talk, great chat.
Man, it's good, man. We're gonna keep it up. Khalil. Always remember, persistence overcomes resistance. I'm out of here. Peace.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly.